So this chart right here is how I start my day. I log into my MLS and this chart pops up. It is basically market activity for Jefferson County, Clear Creek County over the last 7 days. There's a bunch of information here that you can kind of get an idea of market direction just by glancing at this, to be honest with you. It doesn't tell you everything, but it gives you an idea that, it's still not a buyer's market. Sellers are still in charge just because of inventory. We're seeing 104. We saw 104 new listings in the last week, with 211 of them going under contract. That's not what the buyers need to see this early in the spring selling season. We're seeing a couple of price decreases and some coming soon, but that's not enough for the inventory. We're seeing 151 closes, which means it's still more than what the new listings were this week. So for buyers to be able to take control, those numbers have to kind of shift a little bit. We don't want to see any less houses being sold, because this is a pretty low number of houses being sold right now. But that's just how the market is. But it's helping hold value. So that's kind of a nice thing for sellers. And also people that bought over the summer and over the last 2 years. They don't need to be concerned that much about values tanking. Some markets in the country are seeing that. So maybe the world news or the national news is being truthful to a point, but they're making it sound like the sky's falling everywhere. And our market here, and I'm also a real estate agent in Florida as well, and the market down there is absolutely crushing it as well. Almost the exact same statistics for the Naples market as there is for this one in Denver MLS. So, is the sky falling? Absolutely not. Are there some areas where there's some corrections going on? Certainly. I'm going to show you a little bit later in this video that there are a little bit of corrections. We are seeing a little bit of price corrections, but, it is what it is. And, interest rates are not helping buyers either. Well, we got a little bit of price correction, but they're still paying the same more for mortgages if they would have bought it, over the summer. So that may have something to do with a little bit of the price correction. It may not be that values are actually dropping. It could be compensating for buyers paying a higher interest rate. I don't know, just throwing that out there. Anyways, so the next slide, number of active listings is what we're going to talk about. This is the trailing 12 months, as opposed to the last slide that you saw, which was 7 days. The other ones that we're going to show is a little bit longer. For the rest of the video, I'll discuss the trailing 12 months and comparing them to month over month for the most part. So this is the same Jefferson County, Clear Creek County. It's showing pretty much what I mentioned as far as inventory goes. Our inventory, you notice we're less than half of where we were at our peak of September of 2022. And even September of 2022, there was nothing to sell. Our inventory was low then, and now it's dramatically low. So this again is good for sellers. Anybody who's thinking about selling their house anytime soon, I suggest that we get on that right away. And for buyers, are the prices going to go down at all? I don't know. They've been talking about it for a while. We got a little bit of a correction. Again, we'll chat about that here in a second. But, with the way this inventory is looking, I don't know if life is going to get much better for buyers. After the SVB fiasco the other day, they're starting to talk about perhaps not raising rates anymore. For the Fed's talking about it. So, that may impact the bond market, which will impact the interest rates, maybe not going up anymore, but are they going to go down? Probably not. I mean, there's, inflation is still a very important thing. That really affects a whole lot more people than what happened with the small lending bank out of. We're seeing some offers with 2-1 buy downs and stuff, and I have a really good lender that I can have explain the 2-1 buy downs to you if you need. But, it is what it is. This is where rates are. Get your house that you want to get, and maybe get a 2-1 buy down and get I mean, I don't see values. I'm pretty sure that we flatlined on values where we're at now. So wait, don't wait. I don't know. I'm here to help if you decide to not wait. So let's see the next slide. Average days in MLS. This is the next one. It kind of tells you what's going on. Again, we're Clear Creek in Jefferson County. Same areas, drawing the same information. So days in the MLS, or days on market, as I like to call it. You can see May of 2022 is pretty insane. Your house was going under contract pretty quickly. You should have had the place ready to go by then. Although we were writing contingencies in the contract that were given 30, 60-day lease backs on a regular basis. So there you go. It almost had to happen, because especially if the seller is moving anywhat of a decent real estate market, they're having just a hard time as you were finding a property, as the buyers were around here. So it was kind of understandable. It was, got a little crazy. Who wants to buy a house and then not be able to move into it for 60 days? So it was tough on buyers. So buyers now have it a little bit better than they did back last summer and the summer before. About the last 2 years, we've had some challenges with that. Anyways, so if you look at it now, we're down to just over 10 days on average, which is way quick. A good market would be between 30 and 60 days on market for a house. If you're falling in between 30 and 60 days, houses are still selling quickly enough. You shouldn't expect a lot of sellers did, and I never promised it, but I did deliver it on multiple occasions, getting under contract over the weekend with multiple offers. I could never promise that to a seller. Never would even think about promising that. But it happened on several occasions over the last couple of years. But yeah, things are still selling quickly. I mean, 30 days, that's great. We're in between 30 and 40 days. We're getting back down for the month of March. So that's good news. Even the longest was still 40, I think 47, it looks like. So yeah, it's still, that's crazy fast. So it's still, again, another indicator that sellers are still, if they're selling within 30 to 60 days, they're not lowering their price that much. They're not willing to give too much. They're if it's been on the market for over 60 days, like I tell my sellers, it's like, hey, we may want to talk about reducing, having a little bit of a price conversation. This one's going to be a quick one. This one is the close price list ratio, another self-explanatory one. This is basically list price is X amount. This is the ratio of what the actual close price is. So this shows lowballing ability, I guess is the best way to put it. We dipped down just below 100%. Back in, I think the lowest month was December of 2022. Highest month was like 107% of list price, which was April. And then right below that was May in 2022. Again, those were the crazier months that we had. Right now, we are almost at 100% of list price. So thinking you're going to come in and make an offer at 92, 93%. Buyers, it's just not really happening yet. Does it happen? Of course, I'm not going to say it's not happening, but it's not as common as the news may make you think it is. When we're still closing at 100%, that means that there's stuff that's closing over list, which I know for a fact, anecdotally, I just had something like that happen to a property that I showed one of my buyers last weekend. We had multiple offers all over lists. So we're starting to deal with that again. So it's crazy. Buying season is starting already. A lot more buyers coming out for the low inventory. But that's about it on the closed price to list ratio. Again, another indicator that shows that it's not quite buyer's time just yet, unfortunately. And I don't know if it's going to be coming anytime soon, buyers. I'm sorry. But I do have a little something for you at the end of the video. I saved the good news for the buyers for the end of the video because, well, there's only, one part that's kind of good news for you. So that'll be coming up here in a second. So the next slide this one's for the buyers. This is the closed price average that is kind of proven that it should be leaning a little bit more towards a buyer's market than it actually is. Unfortunately, it's just not, because this is really the only indicator that's showing that it should be leaning towards the buyers. We're seeing, yes, the prices have ticked down slightly, but things were a little bit insane back in May and June. When I say insane, I'm saying we are having people making offers on $1 million homes with an escalation clause with a cap of 1.3 million. That's 30% over list price. And we were seeing those on a regular basis. And they were getting accepted and they were closing. So yeah, we did see the values tick up ever so slightly, or the close prices tick up ever so slightly. That doesn't necessarily mean that people's home values have gone down. It doesn't mean anything like that. This is closed price. It's in its overall price points, all areas in Jefferson and Clear Creek County. So there's pockets that it's going to be a little bit different. But this is kind of showing, buyers, it's not the same seller's market that it was last year as far as prices are, but it's getting to be where it is with contingencies. I saw over the weekend that house that went for over list price with multiple offers in 3 days. So it's only a matter of time before things turn to it like it was the last couple of years, I'm afraid. Unless we see a lot more inventory. If we see a lot more inventory, buyers, you're going to be styling. If not, you better have an agent that knows what they're doing and that can write you a good offer and make sure that it gets accepted, and to make sure that you don't have to put any more skin in the game than you want to. And it's going to be difficult for buyers. It's going to be hard. You're going to write offers. You're going to miss houses. People are not going to, it's going to happen. Now's a very good time to get in, and there's some decent stuff. There's some really, really nice properties and a decent amount of inventory starting to pick up for the amount of buyers that we have. Although I went to an open house the other day that had line going down the road, and so that's my take on real estate market conditions as of March 2023. Who knows what this season's going to bring? But I'm telling you, buyers, let's start looking at properties. Let's at least get an idea of what we're thinking and where you think you want to be. Get everything all in line, so if inventory does start to pick up, we can get you right in there. Or if it starts to get more competitive, we're right there in the front of the line with everything ready to go. Best way to get a hold of me is just give me a call on the phone, 303-503-8793. If I don't pick up, shoot me a text to that number.